And we're back. Here I am, Fly Navarro, and I'm here with my main man, Ryan McKenzie from Release Marine. Ryan, please introduce yourself to everybody if you wouldn't mind.
Hey everybody, thanks Fly. I Everybody knows Sam Peters. Probably not as many people know me, but at some point you probably dealt with me on the phone or at a tournament. But I am currently the vice president of sales and marketing at Release Marine, amongst many other things. I know we'll probably get into of what we're going to talk about today, but that's my main job. That's where I'm at every day for the
Uh,
most part. So
well, let's get back to the story we were talking about. We're talking about tequila.
yeah, so I
So,
was, we're talking about, the fact that you don't drink anymore, which is, it's probably
it's a
those
great
days
thing.
of, yeah, I'm at a point too. I heard your last podcast, you were talking about that, and I was like, I'm 44 this year,
Okay.
and the days of me um feeling, I've got two girls, being at tournaments, busy at tournaments, and wanting to, unwind after the tournament. Yeah, of course, I'll have a drink here and there, but just the days of getting on it, just I think those days have passed me by. I'm more and more on that train, that getting towards that train that you're on.
Yeah, mine was just I'm gonna take a week off, and a week turned into what it's turned into, and I don't miss it, not at all.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy it. I think, this is going to sound weird, but my favorite part about it is the amount of young kids that reach out to me on social media about it. Hey man, I'm 24 years old. I work on blank boat. I think I might have a drinking problem. Here's my number. Give me a call. Let's
Yeah.
talk. We talk, and most of the time it's not a drinking problem as much as it's a coping problem. You
Yeah.
know, these kids, they got an issue, they got a problem, they don't know how to deal with it, and they haven't, as you get older, you start building tools to
Hmm.
deal with issues,
Yeah.
whether it's a good group of friends or a significant other, whatever it could be.
Yeah.
We all do different things. Me personally, I have three voices in my head and they all talk to each other, so it works out
Yeah.
perfect for me.
Yeah, I have so many conversations, as you can imagine, that when I'm at as many tournaments that I'm at, I'm there to sponsor the tournament. But that's what's a little bit unique about Release Marine is that we don't only sponsor these tournaments, but we're there participating, whether we're on the board, where we're there fishing, and so we have so many different interactions with our customers. It's so important that during these interactions that you know I don't get the opportunity to see these owners all the time. So when I am there, having my mind um, you know clear, and remembering the conversations, and remembering, hey, they've got a pin on their helm chair that they need. Is it preventing them from fishing? No, but they mention it to me. you know I write it down, I get back to the shop, we get it out to them. Those things just work so much better when your mind's clear like that. So that was interesting that y'all had talked about that, because I was like, man, I feel like I'm if I gave it up today, I'd feel just fine about it.
Well,
So
being that we're talking about if you gave it up today, you'd be fine. Let's rewind a little bit back when you were still in the middle of it, and we were all down in Biloxi and decided to go play golf together.
it was that was early morning. We playing golf with you was, I'm not a patient person. That's one thing I am not. At least I'll own the there's some things that I would say that I'm decent at, and there's some things that I'm very bad at. My patience, as my wife can attest, I have sometimes very little. But because you're a friend, it was fun nonetheless. But hitting, after you've hit 10 shots, just pick the ball up, fly. Like
It,
we, yeah,
it was, first of all, that was the day we thought we lost a dear friend of ours. Well, we did lose him because we
we
couldn't
did.
find him. He was in the
Yeah,
hospital.
he was in the hospital. Yeah, that was
It-
a. I mean,
I honestly, I was worried that he had a heart attack. So for those of you that are just listening and don't know this full story, and I'll make sure I send them the clip. We're
I'm
talking
sure he's
about.
going to love you talking about this,
Oh
but
my God. Listen, this is the greatest story because this is Dominic Lacombe Jr., who at the time was the general manager at American Custom Yacht. It was supposed to be me, you, Peter Chabanzai from the Billfish Foundation, and it was, oh my God, what's his name from, he was with Yeti, now he's with Costa.
Evan,
Evan.
Evan
And
Russell.
it was supposed to be the five of us. And
Hmm.
I went and I banged on Junior's door. And usually we share a room together, but that year he decided he wanted to be an adult. And
Yeah,
I don't need adult supervision. I'm fine. I don't need adult supervision. What does he do? He fucking dislocates his shoulder.
I think a lot had to do with. I think Andrew Cox was with us that evening prior downstairs. You know, most everybody knows Andrew. Andrew's been around, a good friend of all of ours. I don't get to see him as much. I saw him in Fort Lauderdale. He was helping out the folks at Hooker Pumps, but yeah,
It,
tequila.
ooh,
Talking about tequila, there it is. It's right
there.
behind you. That's kind of, it's just funny how these stories will spin their own web.
Well, here's the greatest part, and you gotta hit the way back button. And because I don't drink, I remember this stupid shit. My girlfriend tells me I remember this shit all the time. Um, that was about the same time that there was that earthquake and volcano eruption in Guatemala.
Hmm.
And I told everybody that he felt the aftershocks in Mississippi and he fell.
Oh
And when he
gosh.
fell, he caught his arm on the chair and dislocated his arm. And he was sharing a room with Hunter. I don't know if you remember Hunter, the
Yeah,
young kid that
Hunter.
worked.
He fishes with the Schwest. I
Yeah, he
think
fishes with the
I
Schwest a
saw
lot.
him at a couple years. Oh, it was 2 years ago. I was at Baker's Bay. I look over, and there's Hunter, and it'd been a while since I'd ran into him. He hadn't been back to Biloxi in a while, but
I
yeah, he
don't
was.
think he's allowed. I don't think Bobby or Robbie will let him in. No,
Yeah,
I say that tongue in cheek. But it was weird because we said, well, fuck it, maybe he's just sleeping.
yeah,
And I get a call from his wife, Jen. At the time, she was working for me. So I'm like, I wasn't sure. She goes, hey, have you been looking for Junior? I'm like, yeah, we're kind of concerned. Not too concerned. We're still playing golf.
yeah,
And she's like, well, he's in the hospital. So the number one thing I'm worried about is, oh my God, he had a heart attack.
yeah.
Then, no worries. And then now his wife tells me he's in the hospital. That's what I'm thinking. And it's like, oh no, this is an alcohol related injury.
Yeah. And then he showed up, and we saw him the afternoon. And he had the sling on, but he was there. He was going to make the week.
Dude, now listen, puke and rally, man.
Yeah,
You want to talk about a trooper.
yeah,
That guy was a trooper, or he still is. I mean,
yeah.
he's
He
like a little
he.
brother to me, man.
Yeah, I know y'all are very close, and because of our relationship, ultimately got to know Junior, and we've had some good times together. Always very just a good human being, very kind. Always ask about my girls, things like that. That's what's so cool about.
You
Um,
better be careful. Dylan's getting to be about 12. That's probably why he's asking you about your girls, man.
yeah, so yeah,
Dylan's
probably so.
quite the athlete, man.
We won't be moving to South Florida, so we're good. We're comfortable here in Savannah, Georgia. Um, no
Listen,
offense to everybody who lives in South Florida. I've got,
no, it's not even offense to that. I think it's more of an offense to his last name of Lacombe.
oh yeah, that's right.
South Florida's
Uh,
okay. It's man, them Lacombes, man. Actually, no, they're a great family. How well do you know Senior?
Sam has introduced me. A lot of where I am today. It's having the opportunity to for the first at least 4 years. Sam and Melissa were still traveling pretty extensively to the tournaments. Brought me along, and introduced me to so many people that now are good friends of mine. But I think the age gap between me and Senior, it's not like we get to spend much time together, but when I see him, I say hello, and the history behind the company and what he did. I was obviously aware of it, and sometimes when I meet people like that, I know a lot about them, and then know very little about me. So it's I try to take that opportunity to get to know them on a more personal level beyond what they have done in the industry.
Yeah, I knew Senior first. I knew him when he was still running boats, before he started building boats. So that's when I knew him. And then I met Junior. Once Senior had the yard, he had Junior cutting the grass at 14 years old, man. He just puts the lawnmower
That's good.
there. No, it was great. It was great. And now I've seen him blossom into
Yeah,
a great boat builder like his dad, and he's a dad and he's a husband, and makes me feel old, man.
yeah, yeah. I always feel, even though I'm not old, but I do feel,
You look
um,
old. For anybody that's listening, you look old. So,
I mean, two girls, two beautiful
a-
girls at home
and a wife.
and a beautiful wife. So,
Yeah.
she doesn't cause me stress. She is a very patient person. That's what you say. You marry your opposite, right? She's the most patient person in the world, and I am not, but it works. But yeah, I recognize that I'm not going to ever dye my beard. Unfortunately, I've still got hair on top, but if it goes gray, I'll just keep it shorter. It's fine. It's
Whatever. Listen,
it's fine.
whatever God gives you, you do the best with
It
it.
is.
I tell
That's what I'm
everybody
gonna roll with.
I'm making chicken salad out of chicken shit every day,
Yeah.
man. I don't
I
care.
see people try real hard to cover up the age, and um yeah, that's not going to be me. I'm
Now, I did get somebody the other day that said, I know you how you feel about um, coloring your hair. I don't color my hair. I don't dye my hair. This is what it is. I'm lucky. At 52 years of age, I just started getting gray a couple years ago, but I got a patch of gray underneath my left nostril, and if the
yeah.
light hits it, you know how many people have walked up to me in a restaurant, "Hey man,
Oh,
you got something hanging on your nose." I'm
I've
like,
got it too. I have to go back and make an extra like cut on right above my lip, right underneath my nose, and it glistens. So I have to go and trim that a bit more so it doesn't do that. And trust me, you know, it's a bad look, but I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm not partaking anything like that.
So let's get back to this tequila story. I was in the middle of telling you this story, and my girlfriend's going to absolutely fucking kill me for telling this story. So she's a tequila drinker, loves her tequila. And when I say she loves her tequila, she might have a drink like every 2 months. She's not a
Yeah.
drinker. But every once in a while, if we go out to dinner, she might have some kind of spicy martini or whatever. And one day she decides to take down all these bottles and wipe the dust off of them. So she lines them up in the kitchen. And she's a horse veterinarian by trade. So
Mhm.
she's a doctor. She's very scientific oriented. So she breaks them off into white tequila and dark tequila. She says,
Mhm.
I should taste these and see which one I like best. So she gets my little Cuban coffee plastic cups. You've seen them, the little itty bitty
Cafe
cube.
boost. I mean, I just remember when you were here at release, like you just drink that the whole time, and I don't know how you do that, but
Dude, it's the shit. Anyway, so you have these little shot glasses. They're not even an ounce. It's like
yeah.
half an ounce. You do a shot of coffee in it. So she gets all the ice and she puts them in the little cups and she's pouring them. And she goes through whatever. 7 bottles of the clear. She doesn't even get an ounce. Might be like a quarter of an ounce. And this is a Sunday. I'm cooking something. And I said, listen, I I know how scientific you are. If you really, really want to do a proper scientific test, this should be blindfolded. You really shouldn't do it where you can see
See the
because
yeah,
you're prejudging.
sure.
You
You're
have,
looking at the bottle. You're doing all that, and you're trying to.
yeah, and I'm like, that's really not the right way to do it. So I literally leveraged the scientific side of her brain. She goes, you know what? You're right. So she puts one of them mask on, sleeping mask.
Yeah.
She goes, pass me the shot. I'm like, okay. So I grab, now we went to Reposado. We went to the gold, the dark stuff. So I give her the first cup. She tastes it. She goes, okay. So I put that cup down and I grab the same fucking cup again. And I
Yeah,
give it to her a second time. She goes,
that's better.
that one's definitely better. I'm like, I'm like, oh. And
You
then
know,
I put
yeah.
it down and I grabbed that same fucking cup again and I gave it to her the third time. She goes, oh no, the second one was definitely better. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a great afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, there's a commercial about that now. There's a husband and a wife at a Publix, and he's picking up an avocado that's perfect,
Yeah.
and then puts it back down, and then I think she picks it back up, puts it in the bag or something. She shakes it off.
He's pulling it out of her bag and he
That's
says,
right.
here. And she looks at it and she puts it down. So he
Yeah,
grabs another one out of her bag. Same thing.
perfect.
The
Yeah.
only thing was by the time that afternoon came around, she was schnockered, man. She was like 8 sheets to the wind. She
Oh,
goes, how the fuck did I have so much tequila? And I'm dying. I'm crying. My face is so
yeah.
red. I'm so red. I'm laughing my ass off. And for anybody that knows me personally, I'm like the biggest fucking practical joker. So
Oh
this was
yeah.
soon as I mean, literally, I called her out on it because I'm like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Put a blindfold on. Put a
Have fun
blindfold
with it.
on. Yeah.
You
Next thing,
know, I'm sure she's got something planned for you at some point.
nah, she's not a jokester.
Yeah.
No, but this is what she does like to do. She likes to scare people.
Good.
So
Yeah.
she'll hide in the closet. She'll hide. There was one time, so the way our shower is set up, there's a window. You can open up the window and it opens up to like a little garden, but it's behind a brick wall and it's locked. Nobody can see it. And on nice days like now, this time of year, I open it up. So I'm there scrubbing my hair. And I open up my eyes, and there she was in the window like
Oh
this with her hands,
gosh.
scared the shit out of me. I had so much soap on my hand. The only thing I could do is go whack, and I popped her right in the nose. I felt so bad. She's got soap all over her face. It goes right over through the
Yeah.
screen.
That's why
It,
there's reactions are for like there's the people that scream and there's people that automatically like swing. I'd be the one that automatically like
I'm a,
swung her head.
I'm a swinger.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
even though that sounded fucking
Not
horrible,
that type
that
of, but
sounded horrible. Yeah,
yeah,
I start throwing. I throw
yeah.
punches.
That's right. Yeah,
I
that'd
throw
be
punches. I'm not a screamer. She's a screamer. She's a screamer. I've got, oh, she'll get, she's on one of her calls and I'll somehow sneak out the garage and I'll get up underneath her car and I'll just wait for the door to open up. And the moment that door opens up, I grab her by the ankle.
that's funny. That's
I'll
great.
be answering emails underneath the car, underneath
Patiently
it,
waiting.
patiently waiting. Hey man, if you can't have fun with your significant other,
No, yeah, yeah, definitely. They should be your best friend, and
100%.
and that's what you do with your best friend. So you choose one person, you know, and when you choose that person is through good times and bad, they should still always be your best friend. And
100%.
yeah,
100%. And listen, she puts up with me traveling. Uh,
yeah,
I remember during COVID when nobody at the Billfish Foundation wanted to travel. I wasn't on the board yet, but Peter would call me up. Hey, we got an invite to fish this tournament. You want to go? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to go.
yeah,
So I booked my tickets and then I go in the room. I go into her office. I go from my office to her office. I go, hey, Peter just called me and there's a spot open in a tournament in Louisiana or wherever.
yeah.
We couldn't leave the country back then. And I'm like, you mind if I go? She goes, you didn't come over here to ask me for permission. I go, well, I booked my tickets already, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to at least give you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
That's what
option.
that's what we're doing right now. We've was looking at all of our tournament schedule, talking about family, with me having two girls, they're busy in sports, making sure that we're all on the same page, and we got to do that early. Because my wife obviously, she can't do everything on her own, but looking at the tournaments that we go to, fortunately we have a shellfish who can go to all of them. That helps.
Will you tell everybody what a shellfish is? People that are not familiar with
A
Michelle.
shellfish is actually a human being. One of our dearest employees, but is Michelle Keeney, um, you know,
Uh,
otherwise known as Shellfish, and
Shellfish.
she she is, an incredible angler. One of the best. I watched her. It was funny a couple of years ago. I know we're kind of jumping all over the place. I was invited, Dooley and Thomas and West, we're up at Pirates Cove, and they said, "Hey, Ron, you want to come fish?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." When they say come fish, I know that I'm gonna, be on camera. I'll do something, make
Yeah.
lunches. That's
Whatever it takes.
I'm whatever it takes. I'm happy to be a part of it. And they needed and it happened to be where that tournament specifically, you can only like Thomas hooked a fish, and Thomas, he couldn't be the angler. So I happened to be right next to Thomas, took the fish, caught the fish, probably clearly not as fast as what they would do. And then afterwards, Shellfish was in the pit. She caught her fish, and that was the first time, believe it or not. I've worked with Michelle for 11 years. It was the first time we've been in the cockpit together, and watch how quick and good she is.
She's amazing.
I said, next time I saw Thomas with a rod, I freaking was heading up to the bridge with Dooley. I was like, Shellfish she's got it. I mean, she doesn't need anybody to hook her own fish, clearly,
Yeah.
but she's one of the best, and
She's one of the best, and you can't even throw in she's one of the best female anglers.
oh no, I'm
She
not
is
saying
one of the
the
best.
best. Yeah, I
Period.
wouldn't even. I'm not even saying. I wouldn't
Yeah,
even
no,
go.
no, no. I know, but I just wanted to highlight that because
Yeah,
anybody who's fished with her or fished next to her, you realize that she's not just one of the best female anglers. She's probably
yeah,
one of the best anglers on the circuit.
yeah. And that's what's pretty cool. I mean, I'm in the cockpit with that group. Pat's on the left flat, and you got Thomas Garmany. I swear to God, that guy is lightning fast, and his eyes are unbelievable. And West and that whole group, and Sammy's on the boat too. I mean, Sammy's not a bad angler himself. Um, so when they say, like, you're not in Kansas anymore, I'm like, yeah. Me fishing with some of my friends on another boat during a tournament where we're having fun. Um, we're having a lot of fun out there. There's no doubt about it, but it's a different level of anticipation and just skills across the board from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's not like you working for some alcohol company or some tractor company and they invite you to go out fishing on the company boat. You're
Yeah.
in the fishing industry.
Oh
So
yeah.
when you go out fishing, you're going out with some of the best people out there.
No doubt about it. And it's funny because last few years I fished Bakers with a friend of mine. He's from Savannah. He was running a Nandi Viking. The boat's since sold, but he's got two mates on the boat, and he's up on it's a sky bridge. It was a Nandi sky bridge Viking, and he's running the boat. One of his guys, Danny, he's a Hawaiian. He brought on kind of a chef. He can mate, but it wasn't his primary responsibility on the boat. And they don't fish tournaments; they fun fish. They go catch wahoo, they bottom fish. I mean, that's what the boat was there for at Baker's. And then Brant, who it was a mate, and then there was me. I show up to the tournament. I'm like, so where's the boys at? And they're like, this is us. So there's three of us in the cockpit of a 90. Okay, Danny's a chef. And then you got me, who fishes, infrequently, but can fish well enough to get by. And then we got Brant, who knows what he's doing too. Well, I mean, we're fishing against some good teams in that Baker's tournament. 2 years back to back, we came in fourth place, and we lost within the last 10, 15 minutes, not coming in third. And, no pressure, but it's
Do you
just a
wear
whole different scene there. And when you see that you can do it, it gives you a little bit of confidence that you're capable of doing it. Not It's not near as high stakes or not near as pressure, but you know
do you wear roller skates when you're fishing on that 90?
yeah, no,
That thing is fucking big,
it's
man.
big. You got to be fast. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But yeah, no roller skates probably wouldn't hurt.
You said you're 44?
44.
Okay, you got like another maybe 3 or 4 years, and then you're just going to have to go with half the cockpit. You're just going to
Yeah.
say, I got the right side, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're for that tournament, I mean, you've got to have, I mean, one guy's got to leader the fish. And the funny part about that tournament is within the first hour of the first day of the tournament, we hook up double white, two white marlin. Well, I mean, there's only three of us. And there has to be somebody video in the fish too. So tell me how that works out. Well, we figured it out, but you know, that's what's fun is that every tournament's different. You always got a good story to tell. Um, but yeah, no, get back to shellfish. No, so looking at all the tournaments that we sponsor and fortunate that she's going to the large majority of them. And then, Sammy goes to a few, Maddie goes to a few with me. And then I, bring some of our sales group with us too. I think that's what's so cool and unique about release is that, yeah, we're selling chairs, we're selling teak furniture, but, we're on the docks, we're fixing chairs, we're in the cockpit, we're doing where we can because we love the business beyond just selling chairs and selling tea.
It's funny you say that because I remember now that you say that, I think it was Pirates Cove. Man, this must have been maybe 10 years ago. I think it was Pirates Cove. I can't 100% remember. Somebody was replacing their Delron bearing,
Yeah.
and it took a team of us. I have to say it was
No, it,
Sammy.
it it happens. I mean, that's
Sammy's like, you and you get on the boat over
yeah. It
here.
takes sometimes those chairs are heavy. Any captain can attest. And sometimes the old material, which was Delrin, and we use Erdolite now, but Delrin would swell. So in the heat, captains wanting to turn his chair and it wouldn't turn. And so we would tell them, we get a call if we weren't at the tournament. We're like, hey, go to the ship store, get a bag of ice and a roll of duct tape. And they're like, you're going to do what? And we're like, just trust us. And they would do it. They listen to us. They'd get a bag of ice. They'd wrap the top of the pipe and they would allow that Delrin bushing to reduce down so that they could get the helm chair off the pedestal, clean up, what was in it, put some grease on it, get it back on and get it working. But, since then, we're not doing those things near as often. That's what when I came on board with Sam and we were traveling to tournaments, we were up on the bridge in Biloxi or whatever tournament, it'd be hot as blue blazes. And
Whoa,
I will
whoa, whoa,
never
whoa, 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 whoa. How hot's a blue blaze?
I mean, I didn't come up with the term, but a
C- c-
blue is hotter than red blaze, so it's
no,
pretty damn hot.
yeah, that's right. Listen, that's right below white.
Yeah, so
White is the hottest.
scientifically speaking, it's hotter than the red flame.
Yeah, no,
Right.
100%. I just never
So,
heard that term before. I like it. I'm impressed.
well, I don't know. It's probably some of the guys. I mean, I always say country is cow shit all the time, and people look at me like country is what? I'm like, that guy's his country is cow shit. That's like a positive thing where we're from.
Yeah, no,
Like
100%. Listen,
yeah,
you're representing the 912 very well.
yeah, that's right. I mean, we like to fish. We also like to hunt, and half of the guys I went to college with, it's not quite South Georgia doesn't have quite the accent that my friends down in like Renee Cross does down in Louisiana or the guys up at Harker's. Clark Sneed, man. If you ever see Clark, you got to listen to Clark with his best Harker's accent.
I
He's
I have a Renee Cross story, and I'm not going to tell it until he's on the podcast with me, but I'm more
you're
than
gonna
happy.
need Yeah, you're gonna need to allot like 5 hours for that one because I talked
Oh,
to him about hunting or whatever, and I think that the conversation lasted like 30 minutes. I looked down at my phone. I've been on the phone with Renee for like an hour and a half.
it's not
Um,
hard with Mr. Renee.
no, he's great. He's
He
great. We love
he's
sponsoring his
awesome.
tournament. He's so hospitable. Anytime he's like, Ryan, come down and fish. And that's one thing about what kind of fishery that he has is during the summer I get to go blue marlin fishing. But here in Savannah we either we tarpon fish, we inshore fish, or we fish out the beach for tarpon. So what they've got down there is go catch reds and I mean big triple tail. I mean such a cool place down there that
The end of the world, man.
yeah
I've been asked to put together a trip down there to go red fishing, not even go offshore.
yeah
And literally every time I mention it to somebody, they're like, "Oh, I want to go." I think I'm up to 3 boats already.
yeah
I,
yeah
I'm gonna have to call up Mr. Renee and borrow his houseboat.
yeah. He'll I mean he'll set you up. No, he's
Shit, I ain't worried about. The only thing is, I would make him go fishing with us. I don't want to just stay at his houseboat. He's got to hang out with
no,
us.
he's got to hang for sure. Yeah, you got to have the
Yeah.
experience.
Oh
Be
my
part of it.
gosh, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
I went out to dinner. We were in Biloxi one time, and it was Mr. Renee and his wife, and Mr. Johnny Dorland and his
Yeah.
wife,
Hmm.
and then us kids. When I say it was us kids, it was like Lucas from Kansas, Jamie S. Feller, myself. It was a
Hmm.
bunch of like 40-year-old guys. We're grown men. Most of them
Yeah.
had kids, but they had us on the corner of the table, like the kids' table.
Hmm.
And literally between Mr. Renee and Johnny Dorland, those two guys wouldn't stop it.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they were as much as you and I go.
Yeah, no. Well, it's funny. They were at Lauderdale together. They stopped by, and then but it was Jimmy and Renee just hanging out. Best buds. Um, and then you have like it's fun when you're at a boat show and you see those guys outside of like their domain, really. Um, and they come by to see you and just to check in on you.
Yeah.
It's always very cool. I don't know, and we started sponsoring the OBBC a couple of years ago. Mr. Dorland's, I think it's his daughter. That's
Daughter-in-law.
daughter-in-law. Excuse me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I've worked together with her. But you know, Orange Beach is a great place. That's where I grew up fishing. That's where I got into to fishing at all. I'm sadly enough that I didn't grow up on the coast, but we spent a lot of summers down in Orange Beach. That's where we had a home, and my dad had a small boat, and we go out and when the weather is good, we go offshore, and we're talking like I'm trying to think what it was, a hydro sport 25 or something. So, we didn't really get to blue marlin fish very often because of the size of the boat and where the fish were. Not like what people are able to do today in these cat boats and all these other boats. But I remember I was probably, I don't know, I was pretty damn young, and I went to we would be there for the majority of the tournaments. Memorial Big Game Tournament out of Mobile Big Game Club.
Yeah.
I saw the first time I saw a blue marlin weigh, it was 700 and something pounds. And I was like, that's cool shit. Like, like watching the crew and, never seeing a fish. And that wasn't that's a big fish for you to see, for your first fish to see, there on the scales. And, kind of full circle, when I get to go back and be in Orange Beach for the Blue Marlin Grand Championship, and I fished that tournament. Actually, funny enough, a friend of mine from Savannah, I fished with him on his Garlington. It's called Black Sheep, and we fished the tournament. And the first time I fished the Blue Marlin Grand Championship, we weighed a fish, and Hallmark was running the boat. So obviously, incredible captain, and congrats on his year last year winning the Triple Crown. But after being probably fourth or fifth grade, I don't know how old you are in fourth grade, probably 10 or 11, seeing that, and then getting the opportunity to weigh a fish at a tournament myself. Fast forward 35 years, 32
Wow.
years. Um,
Listen, when I was 10 years old, they didn't even have fire yet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, how old was that? How many, first time you made fire? What was that, Fly?
Oh my gosh. Listen, I remember I got scared because once we lit the fire, there was a brontosaurus behind.
Yeah, that's right. We should
Ah,
do that. We should, all the people who You ever watch Survivor? Have you ever seen Survivor? Like the end, you have to make fire in order to like make it
Yeah.
to the end. It really treats it kind of
Listen, first of all, it doesn't matter if it's a coon ass from Louisiana, a redneck uh from Orange Beach, from LA, Lower
yeah
Alabama, or if you got somebody from the low country. I know too many good rednecks.
yeah
My boys, they'll light a fire, they'll skin a deer,
yeah
they'll catch a fish, they'll make fresh water out of salt. I'm
yeah
fine. I'm
yeah
not going to compete with none of them.
no yeah. We've got our vice president of manufacturing here. His name's Hector Garcia. We talk about that he is a human MacGyver, and I always say if something goes down, I'm grabbing his ass because I mean that guy can. I mean you can imagine he can fix anything. He's probably the best finish guy in the country. I mean people are familiar with Release Marines finish, but I mean he and Sammy through the years developing it and the stuff that he can come up with sometimes to fix it's pretty amazing. So that's not my forte. I'm going to network with the people that I know to help me get through some of those situations.
You're going to facilitate stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
What about, do you still have the two Vietnamese guys?
No, so Mr. Chang and Mr. Nam both retired.
Really?
Yeah, so they're not there. We still have Mr. Chang's book where he wrote down every single chair he built. I wish I had it with me right now. It's a relic and it's super super cool. But every serial number and every chair that he ever built, and the book is it's a thick book. I mean the binder's like that. I mean as you can imagine, in every line, 21 by 23 classic, 21 by 21 classic, and then serial number and all handwritten. We've been building chairs now for almost. I mean, we're probably creeping up on 50 years now. And he was with Sam from the beginning. So
Wow.
it is sad to not think about them being a part of, but they're ever much a part of this business and always will be. It's cool that you recognize them.
Oh man, it's one of those, and I don't even know if this story was true or not. Probably, I'm the guy from out of town shooting videos with you guys that like one was from North Vietnam, the other one was from South, and they never talked to each other for 30
Oh yeah,
years.
they didn't care for each other in the shop. No, no, they didn't. They like to do their own thing. Mr. Chan was a little bit more friendly than Nam, but Nam was no, they would go at it. And Sam, if you know Sam, I can't tell Sam stories like Sam tells them, but Sam's got some good ones. So one day when you have him on, just talk about some Chang stories. When Sam was back in his fun days, Sam to show up to work and Mr. Nam had been waiting on him, and oh man, Sammy's got some good ones there.
Listen, Sammy is a storyteller. He's a
He is. Yeah.
great storyteller.
It's funny that I was up in Wanchese this summer, and I was talking to Ricky Scarborough, and Ricky somehow got on the topic of somehow Sam's name got brought up, and he was speaking to maybe a customer of his or somebody he knew, and he goes, "Well, do you know Sam Peters?" And the guy took a second for him to think about it, and as soon as it took that guy a second, Ricky's like, "You don't know him." He's like,
If you got to think about it, you don't know him.
Yeah, you don't know him. We were just down at the Viking VIP this past week. Well, we saw you briefly.
No, whoa. I saw you. You ignored me.
No, I was busy, man. I was trying to sling some teak. We got some important customers coming through the booth.
Listen, so. I'm just glad, even though it took me 5 days to get an answer back from my text, I'm just glad I tracked you down.
Customers first. Like I know you'll be around.
Okay. Well, you never know the day I'm calling up for a nice fighting chair in my living room.
There we go. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
valid point. But
okay. Anyway, so.
But yeah, the funny story was Ricky was like, "Nope, you don't know Sam." But going back to the VIP, we went and had dinner Friday night, and Drew McDowell with Palm Beach Towers was with us, and he's heard. If he's heard some of Sam's stories once, he's probably heard them 20 times, and he was impressed. I think he heard two new stories at dinner the other night. So, um,
I listen, I unfortunately I do repeat some stories because I forget who I tell them to.
sure. Yeah, no, I do
That's
it too. I mean, I do it often. I wish people would tell me when I've told them though, because some people are too nice. I'd rather them be like, buddy, you already told me that one. Let's move on
yeah,
with this.
I always preface it with if I've told you this, let me know when I'm done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Don't fuck up my mojo, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on a
So,
roll. No, it just, something triggers something like you picked up the tequila bottle and we're talking about playing golf. Actually, you know what we didn't talk about? Do you remember? First of all, it was raining like it's typical afternoon thunderstorms, but I found a turtle on the golf course that day, and I had Peter video it for me.
yeah, I
And
remember.
and I snuck up behind. Like this turtle's gonna get away from me. I
Yeah.
do the big old circle. Shh, I'm hunting turtles.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Poor,
that was a fun day. We had, I think Jack was out there in a group in front of us. That's a good tournament. Robbie and Bobby
oh,
put on a great.
it's a class act.
When you,
Listen, I love Robbie. I absolutely love Robbie, but Bobby himself, he's kind of like a mafia don, man.
he's like the Godfather down there.
Yeah.
I get invited, which is pretty neat. They have a, committee lunch where the one of the guys that's part of the tournament um, goes and gets snapper throats, and it's just for the tournament committee. But they always invite me, so we always go and they fry snapper throats, and always
Which are delicious.
oh they're the first person, that was the first time I ever had them, and I was like, how in the hell have I never? I mean, nobody's told me about them until Rusty. I don't know. Remember Rusty? Rusty down there. Rusty is he used to drive the tractor going down Ocean Springs when we do
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The bar crawl.
the sponsor bar crawl.
Yeah, yeah,
Rusty
yeah.
would always be on the tractor, and he's basically like the mayor of Biloxi. I mean, he knows everybody. He's got a big houseboat called the what's his houseboat called? It's a perfect name. It's Camp David is the name of his houseboat. Freaking awesome. So he brings us up there and we watch the boat parade, and you've got the flyover helicopter and stuff like that. But I get to go eat with them, which is pretty neat. It's all just Biloxi people who've been running this tournament since it started. And I think that just over time, they realize that I'm all in for the tournament. I love what they do there, and wherever I can, wherever a release can help, we always try to do what we can. It's not we're a sponsor, but I think we're much more than that. But
Your family, man.
yeah, yeah,
That's the one good thing about all them golf tournaments. I spoke with Chase a couple weeks ago.
yeah. I saw that.
It's like a roving floating circus because everybody it's weekend to weekend to weekend to weekend,
Yeah,
back to back to back to back, and those
it's a
guys. I
lot.
mean, it is a grind.
It is. It is. I mean, we're in the Gulf, and then we head up to Mid Atlantic. We head up to a tournament in North Carolina or South Carolina, and then we head back down to the Gulf. And it's funny. I always do. So I'm always in Biloxi, and so I've got all my the group down there that we have a blast with, and see all those customers. And obviously Chase was on the other day, and I mean he's just an
Bro.
incredible captain. I mean Mile. I mean there's so many good captains. I got funny stories about Jeff on the Molly stuff that right when I started, we'd be in the cockpit working on something, and he'd be up on the bridge, and I don't know if on that GNS, it's enclosed, it's air conditioned, and he'd be down there looking at us as we're just
Sweating.
sweating it out. I always feel like I never knew if he had a smirk on his face. I kind of feel like he did, but incredible fisherman, incredible person. And then I go from Biloxi, seeing all those guys, straight to Big Rock, and it's like I went to a different country, even though it was only what 8 hours to Biloxi from Savannah and 7, so 15 hours call it somewhere around that.
Still pulling the trailer?
No, I mean, COVID did us a big favor. So, when we during COVID, the boat industry was really doing
Skeletoned
well.
out. It was
Yeah, it
skeletoned
was
down.
churning out, and we didn't have stock product. We didn't have a fighting chair or a helm chair to bring, because if we had a fighting chair built, people needed it, selling more boats. So that happened, and lead times did get a little bit longer. We're back to our normal lead time now. We're 6 to 8 weeks, but there for a while, I mean, we were pushing 12, 14 weeks sometimes. So no longer needing to bring the trailer, because we realized that, if we want to walk and see a Trillion fighting chair or a Trillion helm chair or a battle saddle, we don't have to walk too far on the docks to go see it.
No.
So I'm like, hey, let's go look at it. So, I'm an optim, I'm a forever optimist type person. I'll take the positive out of COVID and realize that we don't have to pull the trailer 9 hours to Biloxi, or 7 hours up to Morehead City.
That's
But
that's nice.
yeah,
That's a nice thing.
it is. It's
It's hard enough that you got to drive there.
yeah, I fly up to Virginia Beach, or some tournaments we fly to that makes sense, because some of them are back to back, and turning around on Pirates Cove and Virginia Beach. Pirates Cove ends on Friday. Virginia Beach, it starts on Wednesday. So I want to get back, spend a couple of days with the family, but driving right back up to Virginia Beach, that can be and flying into Norfolk's really easy.
Yeah,
So
no, Norfolk is great. It's not hard. Now that you brought up Pirates Cove, let's dive in there a little bit. You're now the president of the board, correct?
yeah, I don't know how I got nominated for that, but
You listen, you got voluntold.
I got voluntold. But what a cool experience, right? So I mean, when they asked me to be on the board, it was a big enough honor, because I love being up in Wanchese. I spend a lot of time up there with all the boat builders, because they're all great customers of ours. And inherently, by being up there, seeing them and spending time in their yards, getting on their boats, and just learning more and more, eating at, salmon omies and the local restaurants. You can't not appreciate the history of that area. And so for someone who didn't grow up fishing, in mid-Atlantic, I grew up fishing in the Gulf. We still knew and realized how good the fishermen were up there, and where the boats were coming from. So now, like, having the opportunity to be interjected into that, just in the greatness that they have up there, with the fishing and the boat builders, and getting the opportunity to do business with them, and then being on the board was enough for me. I was like, man, this is great. I'll add some value where hopefully I can add some value, because I do have some unique perspective, because hell, I mean, we sponsor 35 plus tournaments. Release Marine does. So I get to see how many of the tournaments have their own unique way of doing something, whether, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I think that maybe that was the value add that maybe I could bring to Pirates Cove. I didn't know that I would be nominated and approved to take over as a chairman, as the president of the tournament.
Why not?
Well, like, I feel like it's I'm not from there, and although I appreciate it so much, I was like, this needs to be someone who's local. This needs to be someone who's been fishing this tournament
Yeah,
since they
but
could walk.
listen, you are local. You're East Coast.
Well, East Coast,
You,
yeah.
you
So
spend so much time up and down the East Coast.
yeah,
It's listen, just because you didn't grow up there doesn't mean uh you're not low. You listen, I think I've seen you more at Pirates Cove than any other place.
yeah. No, I mean, even John was saying that. I mean, John last year, John Bayless was I talked to him. He was on the board for many years. and talked to John a little bit about, just asking for some guidance with some things. And of course, he said, whatever you need, I'm here. It's the first thing he said, whatever you need, I'm here. And that's pretty cool that I, have someone like that. And it's not just him. There's many others, but that was one of the ones I spoke to because of his past experience. Rob Mahoney is on the board, and I've talked to him a lot. I'm always open. I want to learn more and more because those guys have been there, and fortunately they've given me some good insight. But the tournament has changed. Leadership hands with regards to me being the chairman for this past year, this year, and then also we've got a new tournament director, Lisa Howell, who if which is Lisa is going to be an incredible addition to the tournament. Her husband, William Howell, runs the Drifter, charter boat up out of Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. And then you probably know William Howell's father, which is Richie Howell.
You can't get more
Yeah.
Carolina than that.
So she's one of those ones that literally was, crawling on the docks at that tournament. The tournament, we're in our 43rd year of the tournament. So, I mean, she grew up in that tournament, was big then. And so she's kind of leading the march now. And so she and I work together a lot. I mean, this past year, we had a lot to learn with the new tournament director, but we had a successful tournament. I think we had a total, I think we had 88 boats, which is
That's
good.
not
I mean,
bad at all.
no, we want to get to 100. We know that we can get to 100. We have some issue with slips, at the marina. We're trying to do our best with getting the boats that are not fishing to a place that they're getting paid appropriately to move their boat so we can bring some more boats in. Heather got, I believe Heather, she was over 100 before, so I know that we can do it again. But the cool thing about last year, we hadn't weighed a fish since Harris Huddle weighed, I think it was probably in 20, I might be wrong, so I'm sure I'll get called out, but
It's okay.
2017, maybe Harris and Brent weighed like a 900 pounder.
There's
And
always
then
big fish during that
big, I
tournament.
mean, yeah, monster. And then since then, for the past like 7 years, there's been, no fish, not even close to being weighed. So my first year, which is, my first year as a chairman, we get the first call and we got a fish coming to the scales. I'm like, man, that's great. This is, because it was a qualifying fish, it
Yeah.
was a big fish.
What is minimum for the Pirates Cove for people that aren't aware of it?
I knew you would ask
I
that.
can look it up if you don't know it.
Yeah, it's on our site. We're actually going through some changes right now with points, and we're going to be rolling out some new stuff with some points for the any fish over 700 was 2 points
I
over
love that. I
700.
love that, by the way.
Yeah.
I
So
personally, I love that because what it does is um, it gives value to a large fish.
yeah, yeah,
And the fact that you're harvesting a fish and taking its life, uh, I want to make sure it receive, and this is just my personal opinion. I'm not trying to
yeah,
sway
no,
you
yeah,
one way or another. But for myself, I feel that listen, if that fish gives up its life for a tournament, I think you should honor it by valuing it. So something over 700,
yeah,
I've anytime I'm on the board with people that
yeah,
there's a harvest component, I'm like, you may want to consider a point and a half or 2 points per pound for anything over seven or anything over
yeah,
eight. And they always ask me why, and I said because of that.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
of if uh, I hate to see a 700 or an 800 pound fish lose to 14 white marlin, if that
yeah. I
makes
mean,
sense.
yeah, no, I get it. I mean, you got both sides of that up there, and then that's what we're trying to make sure that we, you know, we've got really good fishermen up there that have been doing it a long time and who are very good at white marlin fishing. And then white marlin, they came back last year. We caught a bunch of white marlin, but never would we have thought that we would have caught an 878, which was caught by, I think, so we had an 878, we had an 806, and we had a 601, if my memory serves me correct. The Deep Color was an ocean yacht. We had Marsh Madness catch one, and then we had Play It By Ear catch one. So 3 big blue marlin caught last year, which was pretty exciting for the tournament. I mean, the docks were happening, and that was that'll be something that will be talked about for a while. Looking back, there's been some really cool memories of that tournament that I wasn't, even alive or part of, but, just understanding the history there.
That town has history, man.
Yeah,
That's the greatest thing. It's very rich
yeah,
in fishing and boating history.
yeah. Brenner Parks caught a grander one year, like 1,041. And then, I think one
M
year,
Mike Ki
1990 or so, Bull Tolson was like 52 miles offshore. And I think he made it to the scale within like 90 seconds.
Wow.
I mean, just those stories, and we're talking. I mean, Bull and Brenner Parks, and
Mike King caught one over 1,000 as well, I think.
yeah,
Mike King
I
with
don't,
Paul Spencer.
yeah, yeah. So that's the fish that's at the marina.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
big fish there at
just
the
for everybody's
restaurant.
understanding, your minimum is 110 inches or 400 pounds.
Gotcha.
Just for
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
that's listening, which is listen, it's very fair.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very
no,
fair.
I was hesitant to say because we always look at things like that. Talking to Ellen, we're very close with Ellen, and talking to her and getting her and Peter's feedback on things like that. I mean, our rules committee consists. I mean, we've got a who's who of really good people on the rules committee. You got Finn Gaddy, Joey Belton, Drew McDowell, Rob Warren. And then we also we started an advisory committee where we brought in, it's not the main board, but brought in some other folks that can add a lot of, value who are up on the bridge and in the cockpit. So we've got going through Gray Blunt, Desperado,
Okay.
he's got
Yeah.
the charter boat there. Thomas Garney, who is, on the Viking demo, uh, fishes with Pat, and then we've got Timmy Kidwell, so another really good captain. So between our rules committee and then those guys, really trying to, and with the help of our conservation partners too. I mean, we want to make sure that we are doing it the right way, and it's fun to be. I'm learning constantly. I would say this is, we go through these meetings, and I'm very organized. There's certain things that I do well. We talked about, not being patient and being patient. There's certain things that I do well with organization, but when we run the meetings and we have to make a motion to vote and we get enough votes and all of those procedural things, I'm always messing it up. I mean, it's always a catastrophe. I'm like, did I do that right? And then fortunately, we've got an attorney on our board who's very patient, very good. He's up in Manio. He lives in Pirates Cove, and he's like, Ryan, we got to do this before we make a vote. I'm like, all right, let's back it up.
Well, that's why you have attorneys, man.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm working through it, but it's a fun group. I'm just honored, to continue to add whatever value they see I can add. But the tournaments hopefully will continue to grow it. We've got Lisa working hard at it, and we'll spend our summers up in Wanchese. And
It's not a bad place to spend your summers, man.
no, I've got to get my family. So my daughters always start school the second week of August. And a funny story as we're telling stories, and this is like talking about the community of sport fishing. So I was probably my second year at release. My first year I was at Big Rock, and one of our sales guys, Brendan Oxnard, was friends with an owner on another boat. And they said, "Hey, Brendan, why don't you come fish with us?" So we fished a couple of days with them at Big Rock. Spent a lot of time, those, just talking for those 2 days, Big Rock can be sometimes pretty slow. I mean, it's incredible tournament, but you're trolling. And so we spent a lot of time with this customer. I won't say his name, but ultimately after leaving that tournament, we're like, hey, let's do this again. And we had a great time together. Next year I saw him at Big Rock, at Pirates Cove, excuse me. And he was asking how my family was. I'm like, they're good. My daughter's starting kindergarten tomorrow. He goes, what are you doing here? I go, well, this is important. Like, this is work. Like, I've got to be here to see the
Yeah,
boat
but it's not
builders.
like the first day of school for your daughter,
And
man.
and and he said, are you fishing tomorrow? I go, no, I'm not fishing tomorrow, but I'm fishing. Tournament starts first fish day's Tuesday. And I said, no, I'm not fishing tomorrow. But he goes, you know what? He's like, hang tight. Literally called up his pilot. And I didn't know this. And I think he had a King Air, I believe. I mean, very nice plane. He comes back like 5 minutes later. He's like, you're going home to see your daughter tomorrow.
My man.
He put me on his plane, had a vehicle waiting on me at the FBO. He set all this up on his own. The vehicle took me to my daughter's day school, first day of kindergarten. My wife, I didn't tell him, showed up
Showed up at the
and
school.
showed up at the school. They had no idea I was going to be there. And now my daughter that started at that school is going into high school next year.
How cool is that?
And I showed up because of how gracious he was. And it was because we fished together. We hit it off. We appreciated family, and we had a love for the sport. And for him, he didn't mind doing it. And it's always a good story. I like to, and I'm talking to, to people, and just, people outside of our industry
Yeah.
that see what I get to do. And I tell that story because that's the heart of our group. I truly feel like that best describes, for the most part, of what we do for each other, which makes our industry,
It's
makes it
it
all worth it.
it's why I call it a fraternity. You
Yeah.
always take care of everybody in your family.
Yeah.
You're it first of all, I love that story. I love the story, number one, because you didn't miss your daughter's first day of school.
Yeah.
And most people know I don't have children, and that's just because I'm a nut job when it comes to fishing. I don't want to miss fishing.
Yeah.
But if I did have children, I would have quit fishing years ago. I knew that. I
Mm-hmm.
100% knew it. So the fact that you got to do it, number one, it's important to me. But number two, that somebody in our fishing family saw that and was able to, I don't want to say rectify it, but they were able to give you the assist
Yeah.
so you can do it. And you really didn't miss work. You missed a morning.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. That was it. And I was back there by lunch. I was literally back from Wanchese, or no, the Manio FBO to Savannah, back to Manio, and on the docks before I think I met Sammy for lunch that day up at the Blue Water Grill. I mean,
Man. And
just
that's a
just
tiny
great.
little airport there in Manio.
Oh
It's not a
yeah,
very big one.
no, it's not, but pretty cool. And that's just what he didn't have to. I mean, that cost him,
Whatever
jet
it costs
fuel.
them. It's
Yeah, whatever it cost him, but that wasn't. It didn't matter to him, and
Yeah,
he.
it's all relative because for different people, that's one thing people don't understand. I remember one time I saw somebody spent $100 on dinner. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't afford
Mhm.
back then I couldn't afford a $10 dinner.
Yeah,
Somebody spent $100 on dinner, and now I can't go, and I don't drink, and neither does my girlfriend, and dinner costs us $200.
yeah. No, it's
So
crazy.
again, it's all relative.
Hmm.
But the fact that he was able to do it for you, and he did it, and you were able to spend that time with your daughter, and yeah,
Yeah, and my daughter's like, I mean, I don't know if they like it because I'm involved in it, but I bring them. That's one thing I want to bring them up to Pirates Cove, but school always starts that same time, so they hadn't been able to come up with me to that one. But they go down to one in the Gulf, and the Galati's. They have a couple boats there behind the wharf. and my kids jump on it, and they get to they're just that how great that family is, and we'll
Listen,
go
the
out.
Galati family is probably one of the greatest.
Yeah, I mean
They truly are.
they're incredible people, and so we're down there, and Carmine Jr.'s got his kids, and Nick's got his kids, and I've got my girls, and we're all hanging around the wharf, and get on the boats. And last year they had a V-55, and we'll go out to the pass to watch watch the boats leave. And so that's a real good family oriented tournament that my girls love, and they love they they like being around it because they know that I'm passionate about it. And so I can't wait for them to. I mean, it's time for me to get them on a boat now. So I need to find out where I'm going to go to get them to catch their first billfish. I didn't catch my
Costa
first.
Rica, Costa
Costa
Rica.
Rica would be great. Yeah, I mean that would be a good one. I remember my first billfish was in Costa Rica. My dad had retired and took me and my brother, and I got to bring a friend, and my brother brought a friend, and so I think it's about time now that I was waiting for my youngest, because I really she's 10, and
Okay.
and I think she's getting close to, and she's feisty. I mean, we're talking about women anglers and shellfish. Jordan Heck, I don't know, Matt's wife,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Matt,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, holds so many small fry records, and my daughter's built like her. My daughter's tiny. My wife is very small, and my youngest daughter Olivia is tiny. But watching her play any sport, I'm like, she's ready. Like, a little guidance and stuff. But yeah, hopefully pretty soon I'll get the chance to take her down and watch them catch their first billfish, because there's I know we'll probably get into it a little bit about our tarpon tournament, but the kids, and watching the kids, see what the sport's about is I know you do a lot with that, and I've
I do.
watched it from
I
the
do so much stuff.
yeah.
There's two things in my tournaments that I don't give out angler trophies in any of my tournaments. But I do give out junior angler and female angler awards.
Mm-hmm.
And my reasoning behind that is junior, you have to promote the next generation.
Yeah.
And female is my reasoning behind that is when mom goes fishing, everybody goes fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes
Yeah.
fishing. When
Yeah.
dad goes fishing, this time I'm going with the boys. But when mom never goes by herself. Mom
No.
brings all the kids and then the kids' friends. And
Yeah.
no, I'm huge with that. And
Yeah.
over
I
the
think
years, anytime somebody's called, hey, we need somebody to donate. One year, I did a little kids rodeo. I bought 300 rods and gave them all away.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just it's fun to watch. We have like little CCA tournaments here in Savannah, and we've got a freshwater lake, and they got big brim. I'm talking like pretty nice brim, and I take my daughters there because it's super convenient, and it doesn't matter the size. I think they know what we're doing out there. That's what's important to
Yeah.
them.
Just being outside, getting off that phone, and not just them, us too.
Oh yeah, we're.
Listen,
I mean, I'm very guilty of.
I'm
I've got a
addicted to the
friend.
phone. I'm
Yeah, I
addicted
have
to
a
the
friend
phone.
that when he gets home, he puts his. I need to do it. I haven't done it yet, but kind of like what we're talking about earlier about I'm like on the verge of, when I get home, just putting the phone in a drawer, and that's family time until the next morning at 5 a.m. and right back at it. So um
If you
you know
can do that, that's awesome. Me, I have two rules when it comes to my phone. When I'm talking to you, when I'm talking to somebody face to face,
yeah,
not only is my phone is always on silent except for the World Cup.
yeah,
My phone is on silent 364 days out of the year. But when I'm talking to somebody, my phone is off to the side facing down because I don't want that light keep flickering when things
yeah.
come in.
Yeah, because it doesn't stop. It,
It
it, it won't
never
stop. Yeah.
stops.
And that's one thing my first job out of college, I worked in the oil business before I met Sammy, and everything changed. Fortunately, I didn't turn a blind eye to the opportunity I had when I met Sam, 11 plus years ago, but I was in a different industry, and I had a boss that taught me a lot. I mean, he was an incredibly smart guy, But the one thing that always would bother me is he was so busy that I'd be in his office, and sometimes I was wanting to learn. I was always that person that, whether it be in college or whatever, if I was in class, like I was there, I wanted to get the most out of it. Granted, I didn't always go to class when I should have gone to class, but when I was there, I was like, hey, I'm going to make the best of it. And I'm going to learn. So, when I was in office with him, and I'd always want his attention to learn something or have him guide me on something, and his phone would never stop, and I could sometimes not get his undivided attention. And I was like, man, I know how that would make me feel. And so it always kind of sticks with me, is that I want to be, I want to take that as a lesson learned, and try to do better.
It's 100%. When I'm talking to somebody, if you were to ignore me always on your phone, I'd get upset. So I try to return the favor.
Yeah.
And the other rule I have is when I'm on the phone with you, I don't care how many people call me. I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah.
I don't stop my conver. Oh, hold on a second. I do
Yeah.
not stop my conversation. And when I get off the call, then I answer them in triage,
Yeah.
meaning if somebody's waiting on something. Now, it might be different. Like sometimes, like we had the call today at 3, and somebody might call me at 2:50. And I'll say, hey, listen, I'm answering the call, but I got a hard stop at 3.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
You
or
establish the expectation, and
yeah,
that's
I
good.
had a call today. Uh, Somebody called me up about Venezuela, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm going to talk to you, but I'm waiting for another call,
Yeah. An important
and
call. Like I'm
I'm waiting for another call. So let's let's get to the point, and then if we have time to catch up afterwards,
yeah.
if not, I'll circle back around in a few hours."
Hmm.
So we had our conversation. I was able to get it done, but it's just my rule out of respect.
Yeah.
I want people to respect my time, so I'm going to respect yours.
Sure.
So I'm very, very big about those two things. And not that I travel a lot with my girlfriend, but when we do travel, I'm an
Hmm.
early riser. I get up, I do all my work, and then once we go get ready to go do our thing, my phone goes down.
Yeah.
My phone goes down.
Yeah. We have the battles of things that distract us are only going to get worse. And so we've got to we've got to be the example that we want I'm talking to me and my kids, is that they look at what we do.
Yeah,
And we've got to be, I've got to be, my wife has to be the example of what we want them, to try to learn from. So,
that's
it's,
very important. Yeah, you got to
and,
lead by
and,
example.
and knowing, getting back to fishing, it's like, uh, you know, you have the camaraderie and being outdoors, and the, the not wanting to give up. I mean, all those things come to our sport when you're, hooked up. I was in Panama fishing out of Peñas Bay, and we're catching big yellowfin, and throwing big top water plugs, and hook up to I think that yellowfin, the biggest yellowfin we caught was like 260, 270 on a spinner, just stand up, and just like that. Hey, this fish isn't going to get the best of me. If it takes me 4 hours stand up, it takes me 4 hours. Now I'm hard headed, so I don't give a shit. Like, it's not going to get the best of me. But I think when you have that mentality in life these days, if I can portray that to my daughters and get that toughness, and considering the way the world is now, they're
Yeah.
on a they're going to be they're going to be in the right direction.
And if nothing else, they're going to be hard-headed.
I don't, it's tough raising them, but being hard headed, and being steadfast, and, hopefully the right things, with, having integrity, I'll be okay with having some hard headed daughters.
There's worse things.
Yeah.
There really is. Now, talking about fishing trips, I knew we were going to get to this point. Um, you got a chance to visit with Sammy last year, didn't you?
I did. So the GNS, man,
And for people that are listening that aren't familiar with our industry,
yes,
just give a little description, if you wouldn't
sure.
mind, about the GNS and what's
Yeah.
going on. What we're getting ready to talk
Yeah.
about.
So last year, Sam had purchased a 48 GNS, completely refitted, engines, transmissions, teak deck, course new release chairs, the whole thing. He let Marty Bates know that this was happening. So Marty Bates, incredible captain over in Cape Verde. Sam's a good salesman, so I don't know what he had to tell Marty to come and run the boat, but having that kind of boat there made it a little easier to make that decision, I'm assuming. And so I've heard Marty's name for years and years. And so finally this past year, which is Sam's second season, I think it was the second season. Yeah, second season, he invited me to come over. That was late in the season, so I didn't have like incredible expectations. I mean, the fact that I'm getting to go fish Cape Verde with Marty Bates, on the boat, and Sammy there, and Small Black, Elton on there, was enough for me. If we call it some blues, so be it. But that fishery, what a cool experience, man. I didn't think that I would get a chance this early on in my career to get to go over there to fish with like.
What do you mean early on? You're 44 years old, dude. You're middle aged.
I started late. I told you, I was in a whole. So I still got what they say. What an average man lives to, what, 70 something. So if I stay busy, I got
72. That means more than half your life is gone.
Well, just think where I am already. So if I've already got to go fish with Sammy and Marty, what do I get to do? Then I get to fish with some incredible customers. I get to be in the cockpit of an 82 during the summer, fishing with Pat Healy. I mean, I've been afforded some really cool opportunities that I never not appreciate. And so, that being said, Cape Verde and Sammy, it was just me and Sammy in the cockpit, and we had our mate Elton, and he goes, "Ryan, I'm not picking up a rod all week." So he let me pitch every fish, and that probably could scare some people who fish with me. But funny.
Good thing you get a lot of bites, man.
So funny, yeah. So funny story. So I'm sitting there, I'm standing the whole time. I'm not sitting on the mezzanine. That's not. I mean, if we fish 10 hours, I will stand 10 hours. That's. I mean, I'm out there to try to see the fish. I already don't have the best eyes, so I feel like if I'm sitting, I'm already at a disadvantage. So I might as well stand up. So I'm standing, and on the right teaser, I'm like, that looks like, but I'm always afraid because I'm like, oh, I don't want to call out a fish if it's like, just, I don't know. It's like I need to get over that. But I was like, that looks like a freaking bill, but it was not like an aggressive.
Listen, if you start off with watch, hey, watch your right bridge. If you just say watch.
Yeah.
Nothing. I thought I saw something. If you start with watch, you're good. Hey, watch your, and if it's the fish, I saw it before you, and if nothing, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So I didn't use those terms, but I was like, I looked at Small Black and I was like, "Hey, did you see that?" And he's like, "What?" And then he yells to Marty immediately. He's like, "Ryan saw a fish." I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Because, first time fishing with Marty, he's really good, right? And then I've got the owner of the company I'm fishing with, and I fish with Sam enough for him to know that, he knows tendencies and he knows, what I can do and what I can't do. But lo and behold, it was a nice blue marlin. He came back. Fortunately, he came back on the right teaser. I got to pitch to him and
walk me through the thing. What was the right teaser? Do you remember?
See, this is where
I put money. It was a Moisey.
It was a Moisey, yeah.
Because I know Marty loves.
It was definitely Moises. a Moisey. I remember that, but I can't tell you which Moisey it was.
All right, so he came up on the right bridge, and then how far did he follow it?
He followed it for maybe. It was quick. He was in and out. I would say a few seconds. Right. And then I kind of made the notion, and then Marty didn't see him, and I've got video. This is pretty cool. And Sammy, as soon as I guess I said that, Sammy started recording, and so Marty yells down at me. He's like, "Was he big?" I was like, "I barely got a shot of him." And next thing you know, as this is happening, teaser just gets ripped. And Yeah, and then Marty's like, there he is, and so then I had not pitched. I mean, I should have hindsight. I should have went ahead and put the bait in the water.
What kind of bait was it?
They were just big horse ballyhoo.
Oh, okay.
It
Circle
wasn't the
hook?
big pitch. It was a small. I pitched a small. It was a 80.
It was an 80? Okay.
Yeah. So
Circle hook ballyhoo?
circle hook. Yeah.
Okay. Any chugger on it or just naked?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
You're getting me excited here, so keep it
yeah,
going,
no,
man.
I'm trying to. These are the things that like I should just. I mean, I'm.
No, no, it's listen, when you're so excited, it's hard to remember. I'm trying to take you, watch my finger side to
Yeah,
side. Come back,
exactly.
come
So
back, come back. So you threw the
so
pitch
he
in the
came
water.
back. I get the pitch out, holding it up, and Ghost Town, just freaking nothing.
Oh,
And next thing you know, the left long just freaking starts screaming.
oh,
And
saved you.
he ate a lure with a stay stuck. So Sammy he was 1 for 1 that day. So I mean most people at this point know Sam designed and
No,
started stay
listen,
stuck.
most people in our industry, but for the people that don't know our industry as well as you and I, describe it. Tell people what stay stuck is.
So Sammy took a hook and realized, I mean, Sammy loves he loves golf and he loves blue marlin fishing. It's pretty much like when you talk to boat builders, they want to build boats, they want to fish. Sammy is pretty much retired from building chairs and he wants to fish, blue marlin fish, and he wants to play golf. And he kept, blue marlin fishing and just did not like his hookup ratios when he was, lure fishing. So he, along with some guys here at Release Marine, some of our design team, it was Sam's idea, and we had some guys help, start to R&D it with taking the hook shank and cutting it in half and somehow attaching it so that you don't have that big cantilever when that fish is trying to, when he's jumping and turning. And so to take that and shorten the shank and have that bury. And he accomplished that by welding three. He's basically got 3 circles that will attach. And I'm butchering this, so this is not what I sell. So
Yeah,
so
yeah, no,
Sammy
no,
can't
no.
get mad
Listen,
at me.
I'm not going to hold anything against you. Sammy, on the other
That's
hand.
what I'm saying. So this is
Yeah.
so
No,
he's got the
listen,
3. He's got the clip that clips those 3 rings
rings.
together. And so at like 14 pounds of drag, that clip will break. And at that point, that shank has now decreased the cantilever action inside, wherever that fish is hooked. So it is a, you can check it out. He's got some stuff. Fudo actually manufactures it
The
for
hook.
the hook. Correct. So it's a very good hook. I know some folks, there's a lot of people who run those, in their lures. And then there's some people who, elect not to, but Sam's had a lot of success with it. And it's been like something that,
And for anybody that's really looking for some more information on it, website is stay-stuck.com.
and that's
STA,
STA, yeah,
STE,
STUK.
correct. But you
So I
got to
got that
remember that
right
hyphen.
too. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't want to take a chance. I wanted to make sure I pulled it up on the website.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's it.
looked.
No. Yeah. It's a really, it's a unique
Uh,
product that, Sam, uh, got to start testing over in Cape Verde. I think he went out with Bubba in Costa Rica, but that's
yeah.
different
No, it's a
fishing.
different fishery. But I remember when Sammy was first playing with us, he called me up and we talked a lot about it.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I promise you, you had called me yesterday. You're like, hey, man, what questions are you going to ask me? I don't want to get caught on something. I'm like, man, I promise I'm not going to throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
And then I'm asking you about the hook, and I'm like, fuck, I better at least pull up the website. And
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
I'll just announce it. I promise it. Sammy was all on me. Wait until I start talking to him in Spanish. He's really screwed. For your Costa Rican customers, you're screwed,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I like when Sammy does start speaking to his, Spanish speaking customers and he starts to have the accent, but it's a
He,
Spanish accent, but speaking American.
he speaks Spanish with a South Georgia accent.
Oh man.
With a Savannah accent. You like fishing, you guys like hunting, and you like haunted houses, man.
Yeah, we've got plenty of, yeah, it's a pretty cool city. Just anybody that loves history, um, yeah, Savannah's got plenty of it. So
You
it's a
guys
cool
have
place.
some incredible history.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Savannah. I've spent a bunch of time there. I have a buddy of mine used to run the Real Pushy. Before that, he used to run the Hairy Dog. He's now a tugboat captain up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Barger,
Yeah.
super cool dude. First time I ever went to Savannah, I went to visit him.
Yeah, real pushy. I always see they're always RBs always at Baker's when I fish that tournament. And
Yeah. Oh,
um,
Robert, let me tell you a story about Robert. Next time you see him, you can ask him, "Hey man, Fly asked me to ask you about your broken hand."
okay, yeah, I'll
Because
do it.
we were fish. I'm aging, not myself, not just myself, but Robert. We were fishing the Boy Scout,
Hmm.
and we come in from fishing, and he's got his hand in like a splint. I mean, a bad looking splint. You're in St. Thomas. He hadn't even gotten to the hospital yet. I'm like, what the fuck did you do to your hand? I missed a blue marlin on a pitch, and I punched the bulkhead. And I'm like, bro, it's St. Thomas. We all miss one.
Hmm.
There'll be another one 10 minutes later. Don't worry
I
about it.
like the enthusiasm. I mean,
The enthusiasm is great, but come
oh
on,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It's a funny story. This is talking about enthusiasm. You might get a kick out of this because you know me well enough that I'm very competitive. No matter what I do, we played golf that day, and I was getting mad because you're not getting mad with you. I was like,
Listen, I'm not that good at golf, man.
I'm not either. I mean, I'd say I'm average at best, but talking about just competitiveness. And I was probably my third year at release, and I was like, you know what, we need to do something as a company here. So we're like, let's. I played baseball my whole life, travel ball, pretty competitive. I said, I want to let's get a softball group together. And I'd been here long enough to people knew we all knew each other, but we'd not played a sport together. I'll never laugh. Our VP of manufacturing, Glenn Griggs, he's a retired Master Sergeant Marine. He's on the team. Our current president, Matt Heck, at the time, he was our vice president. So this is many years ago, and we're out there. We're playing a co-ed league with Release, and I've got some people in the shop who played soccer, never played softball a day in their life. So I'm out there trying to navigate, trying to coach this team, and I was probably in my early 30s, right? And people were, hitting ground balls up the middle, and I was just diving for them. And everybody started calling me Hot Rocks. You seen Wedding Crashers? You see Wedding Crashers where what's it? Bradley Cooper is like, calling the plays and stomping and trying to get
Yeah.
the yeah. And I think they realized real fast, like it didn't matter what I was doing, like I didn't want to lose. Like I didn't care. It was like a co-ed, and these people just kind of getting to know me at release. I mean, I literally would. I mean, I'd pop back up and slide head first into
Oh my God.
home plate, and
Ah.
it's in sales and what we do, it's not a bad thing, but it's I just don't need to. I don't at 44. I don't need to dive anymore for
No.
ground balls.
Maryland, football and crab cakes.
That's right. Uh-huh. So
Ah.
Hot Rocks. So I was known for many years around release as Hot Rocks.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But yeah, pretty
That is a
fun.
great movie, by the way.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. We
That's a
did a funny
classic.
thing at Fort Lauderdale. We were asking questions like, you know, we did them with Sammy. We did them with a lot of some customers, some of our group. And one of the questions was Farley, or it was Farley or Farrell, and that was a hard question for anybody to.
Farrell.
Yeah.
Farrell. I'm a
So
Farrell guy.
yeah, it's tough, but yeah, I would tend to say and lean more towards Farrell. I mean, his movies, even we're talking about recently. There's no funny movies like that anymore. At least maybe I missed them.
Well, we went through a lull where people were afraid to say anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's probably still the case. I mean,
I'm not afraid like I used to be.
yeah, well,
Now it's like, fuck it. I
yeah,
mean, if you know me, you know I'm probably going to say something inappropriate, but I don't mean to harm
yeah,
anybody.
yeah. You're not malicious about it. You feel a certain
No.
yeah you feel a certain way about something, and we shouldn't stop being able to just at least tell people like, hey, if they ask us a question, we should be able to answer it honestly.
Yeah.
I mean that's
And especially with my friends, if I'm in amongst my friends, I'm very inappropriate with my friends.
yeah.
Listen, I've made fun of you about many of things that we're
Oh
not going
yeah.
to discuss online, with all my friends,
Sure.
but that's what you do with your friends, man.
That's right.
We
Yeah.
all have
Yeah.
our inside jokes and it's not meant for the outside.
Yeah.
And, um, yeah, I'm going to have a fucking good time. I don't care.
Yeah. That's what if we're not having a good time and we're taking this life too damn serious.
That's the way I see it. I want to have a good time,
Yeah.
and who do I want to have a good
And living with like just like that, I don't know, that angst or that always feeling like, somebody's bothering you. Like that's a burden. Like that's something that we're not supposed to live like that.
No, at least I don't want to live like that. You
No,
know?
I genuinely, when I'm out like at tournaments or here, I mean, I'm serious about work, but like, I mean, it- you know, we're very fortunate to be in this industry. So we could be doing other things. So, we let's have fun with it
We
and
could
not
be
take it
we
too.
could be shaking paint at Home Depot. Not
Yeah,
that
there
there's
you go.
anything wrong with Home Depot, but we get to talk about fishing all day. At least
We
I get to
do.
talk about fishing all
Yeah,
day long.
yeah.
I used to fish all day long. Now I get to talk about it all day long. I make money on
It's one of my, not talk about like regrets or things because, world puts us in the position that we are for specific reasons. But, every year we talk about college and, I'd always like when I actually go to class, I did well, but I'd always drop classes. That's why it took me 5.5 years to graduate college. But the thing was, is I do look back and I wish that I always had to take classes during the summer to catch back up.
it.
And
Okay.
I always wish because I had the opportunity to go, mate on a boat down in the Gulf, but I was always having to stay back at college to catch up on those classes. And like Matt, our president here, he when he graduated from Virginia Tech, he took a year and he got to travel to Venezuela. I mean, he was fishing with the BXRL with Sammy and Paul and Daniel
Ooh, that
Spencer.
was cool back in the
I
day.
mean, and listening to all of his experiences, I'm like, man, because I didn't get to work in a cockpit like that. When I'm on a boat, during the summer fishing, and I'm watching the guys work, and I want to help, but then again, this is tournament fishing. Like, I don't want to rig, a ballyhoo wrong. Can I rig one? Yes, but I'm not. Am I going to rig it as good as they can? No, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. But that's the things that I do wish that I had. You know, Looking back, I wish I'd worked on a boat, for a few years before getting,
Yeah,
started. But
but you are who you are because of what you did.
yeah,
And whatever the reason was, I don't know about you. Me personally, and you don't have to answer. I'm not asking you the question. I believe in God,
yeah,
and
I do too.
I
100%.
believe that He puts everything in your life for a reason. Even when shit hits the fan, He put that in my life so I can learn a
Oh,
lesson,
100%.
so I
I,
can do something else later.
I cannot agree with you anymore. I mean, that is the truest thing. Like, I know that any, when you want patience, God's not going to give you. He's going to give you a reason to learn patience.
Exactly.
And he does that with everything. You know, I'm very fortunate. Good decisions. That I've made. Um, you know,
Even bad decisions you
and even
made.
bad decisions, but the bad decisions, at least I recognize what those things did and how it affected, and without those, I would probably be a different person.
E-
Um, you know,
Exactly.
I,
Listen,
I
if you took a job as a deckhand, you might still be doing that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't know.
I don't, yeah,
So,
yeah,
listen, from the outside as a friend,
yeah,
I think you've done really well. I wouldn't. No,
yeah, no,
I understand what you're saying because sometimes you would like to understand it from a certain point of view.
yeah,
But you can't look at it like that because it could have led you down a different path. It could have,
sure,
you could have gotten the opportunity. I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. I have a friend. I'm friends with his parents, and since I was at his parents' wedding, so I've seen him born, the whole 9 yards, and he got an opportunity to work on a boat in between college and law school,
hmm
and he told me the boat. And I called up the captain. I'm like,
hmm
no,
don't hire him.
don't hire him
Hmm
because I know if he got bitten by the bug,
Yeah,
he'd never go back to law school.
yeah, yeah,
And I get a lot of kids that reach out to me. Oh, I want to be a fisherman. I want to be a fisherman. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It's great. I love it. I am so thankful for everything I've done in my life. But so many times I've seen guys that they're married, they have a couple of kids at home, and they have to be away
hmm
because it's their job.
it is.
And that is so hard.
Yeah,
That is so hard. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
yeah.
Um,
And you're right. Like that being said, it kind of full circle thinking about like the flexibility that I have with my position at release. You know, I get to go fish some tournaments. I get to go see people at tournaments. I'm in the office, so I mean, I'm home with the family. 45 weeks out of the year. You know, I'm gone maybe seven. And with any career, I think that's probably I don't know if there's a standard, but 6 7 weeks out of a year, and they're not full weeks, but that's you know
I'm glad you added right. I added that up in my head. I'm like, wow, he came out 52 weeks. Good,
yeah,
good.
there we go.
No, I'm proud. At first, I had to add it up.
Yeah. Well, simple math at Georgia Southern, we got through that one pretty quick.
Ah,
But it is, you're right. That it is all perspective. 100%, with believing in God and believing and having faith uh is always keeping that no matter what goes bad for you, what goes good, but understanding that it's happening
for a
that,
reason.
yeah, for a reason. It's out of our control. We put our faith in him. And I mean, what a good feeling to know that, someone who loves you like that's gonna, no matter how difficult it's gonna get, there's reason and you're gonna get through it.
Is your father still alive?
He is, yes.
So I I
Very
had
fortunate.
I have my biological father, my dad,
Hmm
and I was very, very blessed in having somebody that was like a father to me in Jim Lambert,
hmm
the owner of the Real Tight.
hmm
And uh, they both passed away within a year of each other. And that was the very first time I completely felt alone,
hmm
that there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, I've always believed in God, but literally talking about it. And I give all the credit to Captain Flash Clark,
hmm
Ross Clark. I don't know if you know. Oh, he's a Savannah boy.
The name's familiar.
Oh my
I
God,
should,
Flash is 72 years old, man.
yeah.
Listen,
The
there's
names I've heard Sammy talk about him.
listen,
I've I haven't met him, but
he's a local boy from Savannah. But Flash was the first person that introduced me to the Bible.
mhm,
And um, for me, and I have real great conversations with my girlfriend about this. When you say Heavenly Father,
mhm,
or your Father, the Almighty Father, the best way I can describe it, it's when the shit's hitting the fan, when you're at work or you're at business and everybody's looking at you to make a decision. You're a father, your
yeah,
kids are nervous, your wife's nervous, and you have nobody else to turn to but him,
Hmm.
and suddenly you feel, oh, that's why he's Heavenly Father,
Oh yeah.
because you're not alone.
No, never.
And that for me, I've listen, you've known me from when I was working on boats to since I started
Yeah.
my business and doing all the things that I do. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been plenty of times I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna make my next bills,
Hmm.
or make payroll or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I've only got one person to talk to,
Hmm.
you know? And that alone, it might not fix the problem right then and there,
No, no,
but
but
it lets you know that you're not alone.
yes. Yeah.
And that to me is huge,
Yeah.
is
Uh,
huge.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I grew up in church, you know, still active in church. The more that, you know, every time I go to church and, you know, if I'm traveling, you know, out of town, you know, when we miss those, as soon as I come back and go to church and I hear the, you know, preacher talking, we go to Methodist church downtown Savannah. And every time he's talking, I'm like, man, it's like he's talking to me every time. And I know he's not just talking to me, but
Yeah.
he is, because, you know, we all, you know, deal with the highs and lows of life. And, you know, the focus just always needs to turn back to our Father, you know,
Yeah.
and that's, there's so many ways of that, you know, being communicated, in examples and stories in the Bible. But it's, you know, we, we gotta we gotta lean on our faith, and if we can continue to do that, then you know, we can get through anything at some point, because, you know, it's
Lean on it. I
it,
backflip into it, man.
yeah, it's, you know, life isn't easy,
Oh, that's
but
part of being an adult. I don't like
you know,
adulting anymore. I want to go back.
yeah, yeah, but we
No, but yeah, that's and as you know, I spent a lot of time overseas,
mhm,
all over the place. I go to Japan, I go to the Middle East, and I have a lot of great Middle Eastern friends, and we talk a lot about when I'm in the Middle East, I talk a lot about religion.
mhm,
I talk a lot about it with my business partner's sons. I talk about it with my business partner, and I always just because what I like to say is, listen, we're all going to the same place. You're just taking a different path than me. That's
mhm.
for whatever reason, I don't ever judge anybody.
Yeah,
I'm happy. If you don't want to believe in God, that's up to you too. That's why I said, listen, I didn't bring it up for that. I brought it up
yeah,
as a story. And then we've gone down this path, and I'm perfectly okay with it. But my biggest thing is, oh, because I get to travel, and I get to talk to different people and from new places and new perspectives.
mhm,
Uh, I, 2 years ago, last year, I got the chance to experience Ramadan for the first time, the first 10 days of Ramadan,
mhm,
which was, to me, it was beautiful. It was
mhm,
lovely. It was very eye-opening. When I go to Japan, a lot of my friends over there, they come from more of a Buddhist background. So I
mhm,
talk to them about it. My dear friend in Japan, he told me one time it was a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? It was a little bit dark,
mhm.
but he says to me, if something ever happens to you in Japan, I promise I will get your body back to Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And I, I
You know how to take it, but at the same time, you
at
knew
first I didn't know how to take it, but then the more I studied it, the more I realized what an honor that was.
and care. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So again, it's we're all going fishing to the same fishing grounds out in the canyon.
Yeah,
Some of us leave from Rudy Inlet. Some of
yeah,
us leave from Ocean City. Some of us leave from Oregon Inlet. You know, but we're all going to the same canyon.
yeah. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's a good analogy. Yeah,
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 we're all going to fish the same place.
yeah,
We're just, you might take a custom boat. He might take a
And one day
Viking.
you might have a good day, and one day I might have a good day. But we're all going to
Yeah.
come back and hopefully
Tell
talk
some
about
tell some stories
yeah.
and share it with our families when we get back to the dock,
Hmm.
you know. Um, Before we wrap this up, and I really, really want, for two reasons, I really want to talk about the Tarpon Tournament.
Yeah,
Number
absolutely.
one, it's something that you do together with your wife,
Hmm.
and also it's in honor of Sammy's father.
It is.
And
So
I
the
really want to talk about it.
it's a John A. Peters Tarpon Tournament, and it is father. It's in memoriam of Sam's father, and Sam's father was a true Savannah sportsman. He he was probably the pioneer of the the tarpon fishery here in Savannah, Georgia. A lot of people don't, they think of, tarpon fishing, they think of Boca, they think of the Keys. Come July, August, and to September, Savannah's got a great tarpon fishery. And so 13 years ago, Sam wanted to do a tournament in honor of his father and started a tournament. And I think they had, like, of course, tarpon fishing tournament, Savannah, 10 boats fish it. And they did it just because they were friends with Sam. So,
I'm surprised
fast.
you didn't get 10 boats and 12 friends pay the entry because their friends would say,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, Sam is his connections here. They put on the tournament. Of course, I think his brother Chris won it the first year. I've got stories to tell about Sam and how competitive he is at his own tournament. I think it wasn't too many years ago. Sam rented a chopper so that he could tool around in and kind of see what he could see from. And again, he's fishing his own tournament, by the way, in his father's name. But I'll digress. The the tournament, and then the third year. So third year, I just started at release. So my math is good again, right? So it's 13 year. I'm 11 years. So 2 years into it, he goes, Ryan, I need some organization. I need some horsepower. Can you help do some stuff with this tournament? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I knew jack about tarpon fishing. The only tarpon fishing I knew is I would go down to Miami, and Russell Kleppinger was like, hey, we're going to go at night and we're going to go out on the beach, and we've got these big shrimp. We're going to catch tarpon. So I'm like, sounds good. Like,
one of the best to go with, by the
oh
way.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's again another pretty cool opportunity. But Sam allows me to start to grow the tournament, and because of my experience with all other tournaments, I started incorporating things that I saw worked at billfish tournaments. And so as the tournament got larger, I knew that I needed some help. And so I told Sam, I said, hey, I'm going to ask my wife. She was a wedding planner. So logistically speaking, like, and people like to donate to, I feel like they're more open to, if Sam's not asking them, you know, my very beautiful wife asking is a little bit better than.
It's better than your ugly ass.
That's right. They don't want to freaking see my ass asking them for money to support it. So my wife Marvy started. She came on board, and from there it just really really grew. And we've incorporated. Each year we do something different. We incorporated a family fish day that you have a full day of tarpon fishing, and then one day you got to take a kid out there with you. And we are seeing the fruits of that now, where last year we had 55 teams fish this tournament, and for a tarpon fishing tournament and the low country, that's about as good as it's about as good as it gets. And out of those 55 teams, we probably have 15 plus teams of young men who are in high school that are fishing this tournament, because they
Wow.
started fishing it when their father was, doing the kids' fish day. And so these kids are getting really good. I mean, they've got more time to commit to it. So they're placing every year now. And we're like, man, was this family fish day a good idea? Because they're wiping our, they're waxing our ass.
They're cleaning your clocks,
And
man.
and they've gotten good, but you know, it's fun to watch that growth of the tournament through what we implemented through involving the family. And the parents come because they want to see, you know, their children up there getting the big checks. Last year with with tournament uh, tournament winnings and with some Calcuttas, I think the top team won like 20 grand. So for a tarpon fishing tournament, that we were pretty proud of that purse. We do something that I felt that was something that I saw when I played in golf tournaments where we auction off teams. So for instance, you know, Sam's team gets auctioned off, and of course he goes for more. Matt's team gets auctioned off, and we take all that money, which I think that pot was, it was a pretty big pot. And if you buy that team, so if I bought Sammy's team, then I took down 70% of that pot. And so, you know, some things that you don't necessarily do in billfish tournaments, you know, some unique things that we introduced to our tournament with auctioning off teams and stuff
We
like that.
used to have those auctions way back in the day,
Yeah.
back in the
So
90s.
yeah. Yeah. So it's fun. If you know that you're out there and you don't necessarily have a shot at winning, but you want to buy a team and you can pull for some other teams, is pretty fun. And the community supports it. I mean, everybody in the community rallies around it. We have a tarpon queen every year, a tarpon princess. My daughters both have, they fish with me on the kids' day. And if
Okay.
we don't catch a tarpon, and I know like the tides aren't right, we'll go inshore and try to catch a red or a jack. And then we do a tier system. So if the kids don't catch a tarpon, which now all the kids are, if you're 16 and under, these guys are really damn good now. So the kids are catching tarpon, which is great. But then, my daughters, if we're not in the fish, we'll go and catch a big red, and then we'll measure the red, or take a measurement of a jack, and those are tiered so that they can also be a part of it. So 13 years, and each year, the money it's a not-for-profit tournament, so everything that we raise goes directly to the Nancy Lewis big family in Savannah cancer research. And so all the money's earmarked for families that are affected by cancer, and this money goes directly to support them. And 10 to 12 grand a year we donate to them from this relatively kind of organic grown tarpon tournament in the Low Country. And you've got people in Hilton Head now starting tarpon tournaments. We've got our good friends up in Charleston who own Marshware, Logan Roberts and Josh Bowles. They're running a tournament now. So we're going to try to put together like a little triple crown,
A little series.
little low country triple crown tarpon series.
I want to talk to you about that offline.
Yeah, it's going to be between Charleston and even down to Brunswick. Brunswick down near St. Simons.
Okay.
It's
I want to help you with that, and I want to talk to you about it.
Yeah,
offline.
Yeah. So it's pretty fun. We spend so much time on the docks and bill fishing, but it's a nice break during the summer to go spend some time off the beach and up in the creeks catching tarpon. So,
well, here's the thing: a fisherman's a fisherman.
Yeah.
It don't matter. If you're just a blue marlin fisherman, then you're just a blue marlin fisherman. But if you catch blue marlin, sailfish, yellowtails, redfish, tarpon, then you're a fisherman.
Yeah.
So if you go out and catch a bunch of fish, me personally, I don't. I go out lobster fishing with my friend on his commercial boat up in Nova Scotia, man.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want to be out on the water and hang out with my friends.
That's it. Yeah.
And the fact that you get to work with your wife about it, that's even better.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, she she's really good at just bringing it all together and turning it into a fun event. She doesn't go out with me when I take the girls, because she's always busy running around doing errands, getting ready, prepared for the tournament. That's one thing I would say I wanted to make mention. We talked about so much about tournaments, and then get to work with my wife and tournament directors. Jack Vitek with Marlin wrote a really good article, probably about 3 or 4 issues ago, this past summer, talking about the unsung heroes of tournament directors. I don't know. Did you read that article?
I unfortunately I have not, no, but I'll
It's
have to look it up.
incredible. It's very, very good because, we spend, I see it on both sides now, being on the board at Pirates Cove, helping run the tournament with my wife, the Tarpon Tournament, sponsoring 35 plus tournaments at release, and understanding what these tournament directors put in so that all the fishermen can go out there and, get back to the dock and
And have a good time.
have a good time, have a good meal, have the organization, have a big party to kick off and have a big party to end it. And, just, I thought that it was something that I'd be remiss of not saying you know, we get to go fishing, but these tournaments are, it's not about, and you hear it. And sometimes I feel like some people think it is about the money, but the tournaments are fun. It's the competitive nature of it, but
It's hanging out with your friends,
it's
man.
just hanging out. It's hanging out with your friends. Everybody wants to win, but
Nuts.
at the same time, you know, it's you try to take a step back and think about the fun times you had, and memories you'll have for a lifetime when you're fishing with your friends.
Exactly. And speaking of Jack and Marlon and tournament directors, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, and
I did.
I need to call Jack. They just announced Michelle Gaylord
That's
as
right.
their new tournament director for Bermuda and
And scrub.
Scrub.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, me personally, now I've been working with Michelle probably about a decade now. I would have to say that may be the greatest decision that company has made since I've been in this industry.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
She knows this
Very exciting
industry
for him.
inside and out. She's meticulous.
Yeah.
I think that was not just a home run, but a grand slam home run
Yeah.
by hiring her because I can't say enough nice things about her. She's one of those people that's on my inner circle.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that she has the right to tell me I'm not doing something right.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. It's not that I don't like constructive criticism, but sometimes
Yeah.
I don't take it too well, and it takes a couple days to kind of chew on it.
Sure.
But she's one of those people that I duly respect
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was about to
for her
say. That's
opinion.
the word I was about to go with, is the respect that, she has garnered, is deserving. So good for her, and
100%
good
big,
for
big.
Jack
Yeah,
those guys.
I think since this whole Marlin group started and all the different acquisitions that they've made, I think uh, pushing her up to tournament director of all the Atlantic
Mhm.
may have been the best decision that company's ever made.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
um, is there anything that we've missed?
I don't think, I mean, heck, man, we've been talking 2 hours and it hasn't felt like
I
that
know.
long.
But
I
I
mean,
promised you it wasn't going to be more than 2 hours, and I know you're trying to get the end of your day, and
all good, man.
I appreciate your time. You didn't think we were going to be able to talk 2 hours.
I mean, I thought that was a lot, but 2 hours is a long time. 2 hours.
How many
I
times
haven't
have
told
we
any.
sat down for dinner or sat down on the dock
Yeah.
uh, and just talk shit? You know, that's what I tell everybody. I just called a friend of mine, invited him to join me on Tuesday, and I said block out 2 hours, and he's like 2 hours. I go, I promise you, man, 2 hours is gonna go by so fast.
Yeah.
You talk about two or three topics, and what I really enjoy is I get to catch up with my friends. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't been doing the tournaments that much over the last few years because
Yeah. I hadn't
I've had
seen you. So this is as much of a catch up,
exactly,
and
exactly.
I've never done a, I was, when you asked me to do it, I'm like, man, I don't think I'm the right person for this. I said, your ratings are about to freaking go. And who wants a freaking teak salesman on a podcast?
But see, I don't see you as a teak salesman.
yeah,
To me, you're an integral part of our industry that we get to see uh, on a very, very timely schedule.
mm-hmm.
And my purpose of this, one of my purposes is to be able to catch up with my friends. And I have a lot of friends that they have charter boats, they have businesses, even though this is Sammy's business, this is your business now. You're the vice president, you're steering the ship. And I want you to talk about your company. I want you
Yeah.
to.
No, I mean, it's been good catching up. I mean, Sam,
And I'll
gave me
get
the
him on
opportunity.
here. Listen, and Sam, I'm going to have to block out 3 hours, man.
Yeah, no, he's gonna have some good ones. But really, I mean, Sam, Jonathan, and Matt. I mean, Matt, who is our president, and Matt. Matt is man, what a smart guy, and someone that I get to work with every day. We're the same age, and so I think about release in the sense of, everybody knew Sammy. Everybody will always know Sammy, and Sammy will always be, the figurehead of our company. And when I stepped into the role of traveling to the tournaments and doing that, I know that I'm not Sam Peters, nor will I ever strive to be him. I'm just going to be me,
You're going to be
and
Ryan
hope
McKenzie.
people, yeah, and people see who I am, and my genuine self. But at the end of the day, when I'm out on the docks, and the team that we have back here in Savannah, Matt, leading the company, and always trying to push the envelope with new design, and everything he does in the organization. I mean, we have a lot of good stuff that's still to come. I mean, we're just, Sammy did a lot, and we're going to keep growing it. And you know I hope that one day I can look back, and just think about all the stuff that we've innovated since, from Sammy, retiring or not being as hands on, to when we get to a point where we can step away, because we got a lot of work to do. And like I tell Matt, and everybody here, we got a lot of talented people here. We got the best craftsmen in the world. Nobody's better at building chairs than we are, hands down. I mean, I've got a lot of friends that work for different companies, but I stand by what our guys do here and the innovation that we do. And our industry, we're fortunate to live in this, and we keep moving along.
I'm going to give you one last chance not to fuck up. If somebody wants to find out more about Release Marine, how do they find out?
Go to www.releasemarine.com. Go to a tournament and see us on the docks, or you can give us a call at 912-351-2013, and we'll help you with anything that you need for your boat.
Ask for Ryan.
That's right. Ask for me. Ask for Marshall, J Dub, Rut. I mean, we've got a Shellfish, Mike Murray. I mean, we got a freaking
you got an all-star cast, bro.
We got an all-star team, man. So we appreciate our customers, and I appreciate our friendship, and thanks for allowing me to catch up with
man.
you.
I'm just happy to catch up with you, man.
Yeah.
That was my biggest thing. Hold right there while I say goodbye to everybody. Everybody, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it. Big shout out and thank you to Ryan and Release Marine. And we will check you guys later.
See you, buddy.